Hello, this is Norman Daniels from Paxton Presbyterian Church. Welcome on a very sunny and nice afternoon. Today we're going to talk about the new side, old side controversy that we had here at Paxton. And I'm standing in front of the grave of the Reverend John Elder, which we will have a multi-part talk on in the future. But for today, during the Revolutionary War and in our country's history generally, we have had points of religious reawakening, going back from the Revolutionary War and before, even up into the Civil War, and even after that. When the country is under extreme stress, often there was a reawakening of religious fever. And so in 1741, there was one. And here in the middle colonies of the United States, and Pennsylvania would be one of those, there became known as the New Side Movement. And New Side Movement meant that you could not be a Christian unless you had a spiritual reawakening. I call it a road on Damascus experience, that you had a personal conversion. And if you did not have that, you were not a Christian, and you should be banned from going into church. And there were some members of the congregation who bought into that new side theory. And they thought that any people who were not having the conversion should be rooted out, their words, and removed from the rolls, and the rolls should be controlled so that only those people could be members of the church. And so they went to Reverend Elder to tell him that they felt this is how it should be. Now, Reverend Elder was an old sider, a very strict Calvinist. And he was also a man who was not only a minister, but he was a military leader, he was a magistrate in this area, and he was a farmer. And he was not a man to mince words. So when these people came to him, they told him that we needed to remove these people from the church, and he told them that he would have no part of this movement, and that they were hysterical, divisive, and arrogant. So I would say with Reverend Elder, you never questioned where you stood with him. You knew exactly what he thought. After hearing this from Reverend Elder, some of the members of Paxton went with the New Sider minister, Reverend John Roan, who was also a friend of Reverend Elder. And he attracted members from Paxton and from Derry Church, and they started their own church called a New Side Presbyterian Congregation. And for those that are familiar with this area, it's very close to the bus garage, the Central Dauphin bus garage on New Side Road, about 4 miles from here. And they combined, and when they did so, they took so many members from Paxton and from Derry that those two churches had to combine for a period of time starting in 1754. And the New Side Church continued to 1775 when Reverend Roan died. And without their leader, then the church disintegrated and members returned to their initial church. Today, the New Side Church is completely gone. There is a small walled cemetery still there with many reproduction stones. Actually, the graveyard was bigger, but they made this little tiny cemetery so you knew where it was. And this is just one of the examples of one of the many squabbles that we as Presbyterians have had. Probably the largest was the Civil War, where we actually divided into the Northern Presbyterian Church and the Southern Presbyterian Church, and it took over 100 years for us to get together. But even though we might be separate in certain beliefs and have our squabbles and differences, we always keep our eye on the fact that we're children of God trying to do the best we can in this world. My name is Norman Daniels. You're welcome to attend our services at 9 o'clock on Sunday mornings. We also have prayers in the Grove at 6 o'clock on Sunday evenings. You can find us on Facebook, at our website, and you live stream our services at that time. So God bless you, and may you